Hey, what up anyone who's watching? This is View with Ice, the channel for anime and TV show related content, and I'm back again with another One Piece video, and this one will feature one of the most badass characters in all of anime, the right hand man of the future pirate king, Zoro. Now before I begin this video, I just want to say I feel that I don't want to include Zoro vs Mihawk all the time that he took Luffy's pain, because those two moments are featured in almost every single Zoro related video in existence. Since this video isn't just all about the incredible battles that our favorite swordsman has been in, I'll just start it off with one of the craziest and most badass moments pre-time skip, and that will of course be Zoro trying to cut off his own legs. Everything here just signifies how much of a madman the first mate of the Straw Hat crew is. He may be much calmer than Luffy, but he certainly embodies the recklessness of his captain. The crazy part about all of this is that he didn't just attempt to do it. He was about halfway through cutting off his legs before Luffy, Usopp and Kaku came to save the day. I know this is slightly off topic, but I love the fact that Luffy did a somewhat similar thing during the Whole Cake Island arc, where he basically wanted to rip off his own arms in order to escape prison. I also love the fact that he took on a pose before turning into a wax statue. Small things like this is why I consider him one of the most badass characters in the anime-verse. Next up we have something that I will always say is somewhat underrated, and that is the fight between Zoro and Hody Jones. Jones was of course not the strongest villain post time skip, but he was still the main villain of the arc, and he was a fishman, so him fighting Zoro underwater should have given him the ultimate advantage. But the first mate's swordsmanship and skill improved immensely over the 2 years, and he displayed this when he managed to defeat Jones while underwater. The next fight is one of the biggest reasons why some characters have mistaken Zoro for the real captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. It is also the battle that got him his first bounty of 60 million berry. For the entire fight, it felt like he was fooling around. It just looked like he was training and testing out his skill. This situation also showed us how perceptive he can be, because most of the Straw Hats were knocked out by the bounty hunters. He may have the worst directional skills out of any character in the story, but he is definitely one of the biggest assets in the crew. It would also be the first time we witnessed him using a flying slash attack, a technique that he would later on perfect more during the Skypiea arc. Up next we have one of the best highlights in Wano. This was essentially the right hand man of the Straw Hat Pirates versus the right hand man of the Kid Pirates. What impressed me the most here was the fact that this really wasn't a one-on-one affair. There was some outside interference, but Zoro still managed to get the W. After Gyukimaru's intervention, Kamazo got a solid attack in on the swordsman, but it didn't even slow him down. He just proceeded to do one of the most badass things someone could ever do by pulling out the scythe from his body and using it to complete his three-sword style technique and defeat the right-hand man of the Kid Pirates. A scythe is a completely different weapon from a sword, and Zoro using it so skillfully speaks volumes of his swordsmanship. Next up we have another non-fight, but it is certainly one of his coolest moments. I know he most likely didn't know the policies about hurting a celestial dragon, but with him being such a loose cannon similar to his captain, I am positive that we would have gotten the same result either way. I also love how Bonnie tried to stop him from ending the celestial dragon and giving him exactly what he deserved, just for Luffy to transform into Super Hot Fire a few episodes later and end the career of the celestial dragon. Water 7 and Enies Lobby is for sure two of the greatest arcs One Piece has ever given us, and with it came a lot of great fights, with Zoro vs Kaku easily falling into the top 3. Kaku was the second strongest CP9 member and a formidable swordsman, plus a master of the 6 powers. He also received a devil fruit during this arc, and even though he didn't yet get to train with this ability, he was able to somewhat master this power in a very short time, speaking volumes about his level of adaptability during a battle. His improvisational skills made a very tame looking devil fruit ability very dangerous, and with this he was able to push Zoro to his limits. This fight would also be the first time we ever witnessed the Asura technique, and with it he was able to defeat the government agent. Yes, I know Gear 5th is upon us, but I feel Zoro is the standout Straw Hat member of this arc. I know there is a never-ending debate between Zoro and Sanji fans about who is stronger. I myself don't really care about who is stronger because I love both characters, but moments like these are just proof that Zoro is a few steps above Sanji. He of course took an L during this battle, and it is completely understandable since he went up against a Yonko, but Kaido is praised as someone who can't be hurt. He is hyped up as this unbeatable, untouchable beast of a character, but Zoro put on a performance worthy of the right-hand man of the future Pirate King by managing to wound the invincible Kaido. Kaido is tough and he got back into the fight almost immediately, but that takes nothing away from the fact that Zoro left him something to remember him by. Now, this is easily one of the best pre-time skip fights and also something that I feel is somewhat underappreciated. The level of fight Ryuma put in with this zombie form really makes me interested in how powerful he was in his prime, because he is easily one, if not the most legendary samurai in the story, and another character that I wish I could get a decent flashback from. This fight is also one of the biggest reasons why I get irritated when people call Thriller Bark one of the worst arcs or a trash arc. This is one of Zoro's biggest standout arcs, so how could it be terrible? I will agree that Thriller Bark is not the best we have ever had, but it is not a bad arc by any means. This fight alone should be proof of that, and this fight is just one of many incredible ones. And I also love how this would later on connect with the Wano storyline. Calling Oda a great storyteller is an understatement. Zoro vs Mr. One has a special place in my heart. It is such a simple, straightforward fight, but it remains one of the absolute best fights that One Piece has to provide. Any fight where the good guy goes all out and gives his everything and takes an incredible amount of punishment but manages to prevail are my favorite types of battles. Mr. One basically had the Straw Hats number 2 beat, but his never say die attitude didn't allow him to get defeated, and that is what drove him to take down the second strongest Baroque Works member and at the same time master the art of cutting steel. And now we have our final showcase in this video, and it is of course going to be Zoro versus King. We don't normally get a backstory from Zoro's opponents, and that is one of the reasons why this fight felt so impactful to me. Yes, it featured amazing and over-the-top animation accompanied with great music to bring everything together, but the backstory is what made it just a little bit more special. I would also love to say that King is one of the coolest characters that has been introduced, and that is saying a lot since One Piece features so many amazing and unique characters. This fight isn't just special to me because of how crazy and over the top it looks. It is special because this is the first time we really saw Zoro go all out ever since the beginning of the time skip. There has been some kind of tough battles along the way, but for the most part it just felt like he was playing the game on easy mode. King pushed Zoro to a new level, and the result of him being pushed gave us one of the absolute best fights in 2023.